All right, everyone, we should be live. Let me calibrate everything here and make sure it's working. Hopefully Biden's inside, and this was a scripted address, so when we do get to that in a few moments, hopefully everything will be fine. Now, I'll be taking super chats on YouTube. I'll be taking tips, which are involved with chat on Odyssey, as soon as I can actually, oh yeah, that's right. Totally different browser. Let me reload. Let's see. Are we actually live there? Just give me a moment, everyone. I'm new at this, actually. We should be live. Yes, we are. No, actually. No, for some reason that's, Let me see this for a second. For some reason, the Odyssey live stream is using metadata from the old stream. That's a little bit of a problem. Let me try to figure this out. Okay. Let me attempt this. No. Let's try to delete the old one here, since I've got it on the live replay. Just a moment, everyone. I'm still new to using Odyssey, actually, as far as these live streams go. Now that I'm already live, I'm hoping that I can still put this shit in. So I'm hoping 5, 9, 11. I'm hoping this will work anyway. I'm assuming it will. Give me a moment here. On my disorganized files and everything. Live stream 9/11. Never forget Biden. Never forget Biden is an asshat. Okay, we'll create the live stream, and hopefully this one will be accepting the feed. Hopefully it's automatic after I've already gone live. Yeah, now it's confirming. Yeah, we got some technical difficulties. I'll be reading out super chats and doing much more than that as well. Just let me check up on Odyssey here. I'll get through some super chats while that's confirming. Adherent of Lady Columbia. Styx, I want to thank you for being a source of news, analysis, humor, and advice. I have just been cleared for my AAS degree in criminal justice. Your vids were playing on those research paper nights. Excellent. Good taste. Michael Greco. Hey, Styx, who's your favorite old school actor? Also is a Charles Bronson Marvin. Lol. My favorite old school actor. I like Vincent Price. I think Vincent Price is one of the greatest. Aaron C. I'm North Carolinian. Our state has been overrun with New Yorkers. I've become a bit black-pilled for North Carolina specifically. Don't be black-pilled, just get active. Get civically active in your community. Maybe run for local office, find someone else who's willing to do so. And keep in mind that all those precincts, all those local positions, like 20 people usually vote for them. So it's not actually that hard. Chris Primer, never forget all that gold and silver plundered from under the World Trade Center. Yes, indeed. There was a lot of plundering going on those days. They left a lot of human remains behind, not a lot of gold and silver. AF, hello from the prison colony down under. You're in Australia where people stand on their heads. Black Raven, using 9/11 for propaganda at this point is like Pearl Harbor for the same purposes. Yes, I will be getting into how COVID is actually their new replacement for that. That's going to be a main part of this video. Sidebook VR, recently I see increased effort to rehabilitate the Bushes from normie conservatives. Bush was right, Obama and Biden are wrong. They don't dare attack Trump yet, but will as Trump's influence wanes. Oh, his influence is growing, not waning. That's their problem. That's what they're pissed about. Will Kincaid, good morning from the Adirondacks. Up in them mountains there. Aaron Bennett, will the North Carolina Supreme Court overturn the voter ID law? Will it go before SCOTUS? They will probably be successful in overturning it. It may go before SCOTUS, but it could be too late. Now, let's see. Let me... that's confirming. Let me see. I don't know if I'm live on Odyssey at the moment. Let me go to my main page. Everything's entered. No, the live replay is still up there. I don't know what's happening with Odyssey. I'm not sure if it's going to accept the actual live stream now that I'm already live, unfortunately. That's a little bit arcane. I'm already going live. Everything's already there. Your pending live stream uploads. Yeah, wonderful. So I have to manually put everything in beforehand because the live stream is handled differently from the actual manual upload, I guess. I know the people at Odyssey are working, the ambulance come by. The people at Odyssey are definitely working to make it more streamlined, but right now it takes a lot of manual work. This is what I hate about live streaming, is that for a lot of sites, it's mostly manual. Automation is scant. Closest thing you get is through StreamYard. Certainly for Twitch, it's easy, but and there are probably people on Twitch watching as well at the moment. Let me see. Yeah, there's a bunch of people on Twitch as well. As far as Odyssey, I don't know if they're going to be able to watch the stream, which is rather sad. It'll automatically collate to it, but that won't be live. Paul Conley, isn't it weird? We have 200 million Americans vaccinated, yet cases are higher than they were during the peak last year. Biden is a genius. Yeah, it is interesting now, isn't it? But the thing is, the caseload won't decrease because of that, because it prevents major symptoms, but it doesn't necessarily protect against infection. HTM 101, do you believe China will take over or collapse? It'll collapse. Again, always darkest before dawn. Their system doesn't really work. It's funny that the West is trying to knock it off and adapt it. Halana, will America survive what Democrats are doing? Will we ever get back to the USA we know, or is the Great Reset unstoppable? We're already pushing back against that at an accelerated rate. So the answer is to push back as much as possible. Spread word about jury nullification all over the place. Spread word about human rights. Boom Chucks, do you think they will Kennedy Joe to avoid the 25th and then use it like the Reichstag fire? No, I don't believe so. I think he's on his last leg anyway, so they don't need to do anything. Muttdog SD, good morning from California, maybe soon to be slightly less California. I would not be optimistic about the Newsom recall. You definitely need to vote and get 5 or 6 other people to do so, and instruct them to do the same, because they're already setting the stage for a steal. They're already setting the stage for saying, well, support for recall is collapsing in the last few weeks of the vote. Bullshit. Push polling. It's to create a consensus that the recall is unlikely. Polling doesn't move in that direction at that point in time unless there's some shenanigans going on. Breaking the Flaw, you've spoken favorably about the Free State Project. I moved to New Hampshire to expand my freedom here. Have you considered moving here or maybe going to Porkfest? I've thought about moving to New Hampshire. I was born there. It's right across the river from Vermont anyway. It's basically the same thing, only with less taxes. Buck Fiden, do you still have faith in a voting system? I don't. What if they cheat again in 2024? Well, of course, that never happened. It was a very, very fair election in 2020. Unlike 2016 and every other election. Those ones were terrible. The last one was the only fair one we've ever had. No, I think that defortification is taking place, which is why in North Carolina you see them literally trying to restructure the state Supreme Court in order to get the voter ID law struck. They're doing that because they're afraid. Poor little things. J-Dog, since Biden won't run again in 2024 for obvious reasons and Kamala is too hated, who do you think is the most viable Democrat to run that year? Oh, Kamala's likely to be the nominee. Of course she's hated. Of course she'd be doomed. But she'll probably run anyway because she wants that mantle. She wants the first female president thing. Biden could end up being there as well. We don't have any reason to believe that he doesn't think that he wants to run. It's just that he'll be decrepit by then. I'm going to check again on Odyssey here and see if things are actually working. I don't think they are, unfortunately. Truly a shame. So apparently I have to set all that shit up beforehand, but it can't already be in there because I have the live replay that I put that up. Yeah, I don't think that I'm live on Odyssey, unfortunately. Just give me a second to check this out. We're having some difficulties with this shit. And this is what I hate. It's like, you know, you got to design it in such a way that people who are good at creating but not good at all of this metadata and stream links and all that stuff, they're still able to actually go live on the sites they want to go on. God, I don't even know where exactly I would go to check that. I'm trying my best. I really am. The last live stream on Odyssey had quite a few people watching it, quite a few people giving tips and stuff. Yeah. Okay, actually, I may be live. Just a second. It's not appearing on my page, but it might be appearing here anyway. Okay, it is. Yes, we are live. Let me check. Let me see the delay. Okay, we are live on Odyssey as well. My apologies for that. It was trying to use the data from the stream that I did before from Labor Day for some odd, unknown reason. It was trying to go live on that one, so I had to delete the actual live stream that was there because I upped the replay already. So for those of you on Odyssey, I'm trying to explain, and then I had to re-input things, and there was definitely a delay. When did I actually go live? Like, when did it start? Just a sec. Did it start at the beginning anyway? I'm checking. Okay, yeah. So as soon as I deleted the old one and inputted the new stuff, it went live. Okay, that's good to know. There's a learning curve with regards to Odyssey as far as that goes. Okay, I'm going to get the chat over to the side because I'm going to be doing both super chats on YouTube. I wish I could do Twitch, but I don't have Twitch bits yet. And I will be doing Odyssey tips as well. By the way, I don't know, is this Whalebot thing actually, is that legit or not? Because it doesn't come through as a tip. It says that it supported the post with 999 LBC. And that's a lot of LBC. Again, I might be a noob with regards to that. I literally don't know. All right, get to some super chats and we'll get to Biden at some point here. Did that. J-Dog, since, no, we did that one. Aaron C, North Carolina has actually never had an active voter ID law. Last time it got vetoed by our governor. We still went for Trump in 2020, even with fortification. Well, there's no guarantee that there was fortification going on there. That's the problem. Troublesome Boner. Poor kids are just as bright as white kids until Biden blows them up. Yes, we will be talking about Biden's massive mistake. Apparently that ISIS member that he bullseyed with the drone, you know, a couple days before we left Afghanistan, it wasn't an ISIS member. It was a U.S. contractor who had been loading water into the car. So yeah, the collateral damage of those 10 kids is in addition to killing the wrong person. This should be front page news. Biden's people, I guess, talked to the New York Times, begged him to wait till 9/11 so that nobody would dare to criticize him because it'd be unpatriotic. Little penis, big heart. What is the solution to the attempt to overturn the North Carolina voter ID law? Mass protests, you know, preferably without burning Wendy's. You know, you got to eat somewhere. Ken Kurihara, $20, no comment. Thank you very much. Every time I get through the super chats, there's more of them. It's more than a man can take. Adherent of Lady Columbia, Biden has said he wants to re-enter the UN weapons treaty, which would create an international weapons registry for any weapons that are imported. Yeah, actually, Obama already affirmed the fact that the treaty, which had been previously okayed, doesn't supersede the Second Amendment, so it's basically bullshit. Even Obama didn't bother to actually attempt to implement the concept. International groups have no business in registering Americans' firearms, and it'll never happen. Aaron C, North Carolina vote counting went for like 3 weeks. Yeah, that was a big problem. Anyway, we're going to try to get to Biden here in a moment. I'm seeing what I can do. We are indeed live on Odyssey as well as on Twitch. I have to have 2 tabs open, though. I have the Odyssey comments don't collate to StreamYard. So, yeah, happy 9/11. It's the authoritarians' biggest holiday because they used to use 9/11 as the excuse for all the government excess and all of the authoritarianism. Now they use COVID. They don't need 9/11 anymore. That's why Joe Biden, apparently, I don't think he's actually doing a 9/11 speech. He has this little address we'll be ridiculing in a moment that he did yesterday. That's very, very interesting. Jay Gatsby, Vegas odds on old Joe being alive in 24 are 10-1. Even if he's dead, will he beat Trump again? No, he wouldn't win against Trump. Not without fortification going on, that's for sure. Editor MG, Sticks, you should guest on Friday Night Tights. I have no clue what that is. Dolman Hall, 1989. My wife is also from the Netherlands. I love it there. If they had halfway decent gun laws, I'd move there in a heartbeat. Have you been to Efteling? No, I haven't. And yeah, I agree. The one biggest problem with the Netherlands is that it's even worse no guns mode than most of the European Union. Like, there's nothing here. You can barely get a gas rifle. George Crozer, new tech exclusive. Didn't say if you like singing waiters, KN your birthday. Oh, singing waiters on your birthday. No, I wouldn't like that. No. If I went to a restaurant and they started singing happy birthday, I'd leave. I'd say, fuck you. And it'd be very, very funny. Okay, we're going to listen to Beijing Biden for a few minutes here. Have some fun. By the way, hello to everyone on Twitch, Odyssey, live there, as well as on YouTube. I'm doing super chats on YouTube. Can't do them on Twitch. I can get tips apparently on Odyssey, though. So if you want to tip me there, some LBC, I do appreciate it. King Salmon Fish, I divested from crypto recently because I found it is neither secure nor decentralized. The big selling points are hype. The man has access, real life. Well, see, the thing is, it doesn't matter if it's not completely anonymous or anything like that. And it was never guaranteed that it would be. It is a digital currency. Think of it as dollars, but it's digital. Yeah, technically speaking, it's less secure than giving a brown paper bag full of Benjamins to somebody in an alleyway, but who's going to use it for that purpose? People who are using crypto on Silk Road and stuff like that all got busted long ago. I think that the novelty in it is the fact that it hasn't been adopted by most groups that could adopt it, which will drive up the price massively. And I do believe that it will eventually be used as a comparable currency along with fiat. There's no reason not to. Alamandorius went to Gettysburg, had ghost encounters. You know, there was apparently a prediction that Trump was going to be the last U.S. president. Yes, 1900, The Last President. Very good book. I edited it myself. I strongly recommend it, not just because I'm the one that's offering it on Amazon. Callahan SF2211. What happened to Building 7? It was pulled. You've got audio of that, by the way. It's not even a conspiracy theory. I just think that they do. I think it meant pull back from the building because it's going to collapse. And it's like nobody gave a shit anyway. Will Gooding. Sticks, really enjoyed your recent occult video about the Wolf of Soissons. Very interesting. Have you ever considered doing a vid about the Man-Eaters of Savo? Also very interesting. I will look that up. I'm looking for a couple more occult videos, preferably creepy shit, before the end of the year. I want to get to the 300th edition of that video series. Mandala Bunny, had to edit my message because it wouldn't send. So happy day that shall not be named. Yes, happy day that the authoritarians got what they wanted, just like they got out of the COVID lab. Scarfy the Strange, reminder that Virginia election's coming up. They can't fortify us all. Yes, that is probably the one that is most likely at this point to be flipped against the far leftoid Dems, which is in Virginia. The Newsom recall, there are obvious shenanigans going on there. They're rigging the polls ahead of it to justify it. There will be cheating in that election. That's a certainty. Whether it is successful or not remains to be seen, but I wouldn't expect to be very optimistic. Not unless there is absolutely massive turnout, which means that if you want to recall Newsom, you'd best get to the fucking polls, and you'd best get everyone else to do so too. Tom Brazel, have you played Mount and Blade? No, I haven't. Black Raven, have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey? Yeah, it was a good movie. I also remember the Mad Magazine lampooning of that. Let me check my Odyssey really quick. There's no tips on that screen. Okay, we're going to listen to Joe Biden here for a while. See what he has to say about the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Hey, everyone, come on, man. We're facing crises now, too, man.
On this 9/11, like every 9/11, I'm thinking about my friend Davis, who I grew up with in Delaware. On this day 20 years ago,
He's already got a story that involves him.
he and his family had just passed the first year without their youngest of three sons, Teddy, who died in a boating accident at age 15. And his eldest son, Davis Jr.,
Sammy
was
Davis
just
Jr.?
6 days into the new job on the 104th floor of the South Tower, the World Trade Center. Davis went straight to ground zero to search for his son. He searched deep into the last inning of hope, as he put it. A few days later, I spoke with Davis and talked to his fathers who know. I was on my way to speak to the students at the University of Delaware about what to make of the new world we were in. He told me to tell people, quote, "Don't be afraid." He said, "Tell them."
He told me to do exactly the opposite of what DC has been doing since long before 9/11, with Pearl Harbor, the Gulf of Tonkin, 9/11, and then more recently COVID. It seems to come in waves now, doesn't it? Every couple decades, you got to refresh that tree of authoritarianism and make people more fearful so that you can continue to justify your bitchy behavior.
Don't be afraid.
But with COVID, be very afraid of the new problem. Just don't be afraid of all the old ones. Don't be afraid of the NSDAP. Don't be afraid of commies. Don't be afraid of terrorists. No. Be afraid. This time you got to be afraid of the virus now. And 25 years later, don't be afraid of this contagion bullshit. Be afraid of whatever comes next. Be afraid of those hermits with sniper rifles off in the wilderness that keep killing people. Be afraid of climate change, or be afraid of some other catastrophe that will inevitably then get supplanted 25 years thereafter.
Good courage it took after two unimaginable losses. It's extraordinary. Yet the most ordinary of American things. To know life can be unfair and uncertain, a cruel twist of accident, or deliberate act of evil.
Just like when my son cheated on his dead brother's wife with the stripper and got her pregnant and was on crack. Oh, wait, I wanted to tell a story about my other son. Shit, where are my notes? Alamandorius, just saying, because Biden is obviously doing a great job, honk honk, keeping the U.S. together and is behaving so presidential, honk honk. Yeah, I know. There are people that take that seriously. To be clear, there are people that still support Joe Biden. It's just not many of them. King Salmonfish, I agree with you that it's a potential good investment and just digital cash with all the same issues. The reality will surface in all probability. Yes, but it'll be taken up by a lot more people in the smartphone era. It's a cash cow. Garu Savage. Hey, Sticks, the Salty Army is here and enjoying the show. Keep up the hard work. The salt must flow. Oh, there's plenty of salt from the leftoids these days. Jay Gatsby, where is Rose McGowan right at this minute? How worried should we be? I'm actually watching Scream nostalgically and thinking of her in the past tense. I think her claim, isn't she basically an attention whore, though? Who constantly does shit like that, claiming that pretty much everyone she's ever interacted with has harassed her in some way. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. There's plenty of legit shit about Joe Biden, including regarding Afghanistan, inflation, and a million other things, to ignore Rose McGowan. John Andrew, do you feel the left is pushing for a civil war? No, I think that they would lose it handily if they tried. I think they just don't understand that they don't have nearly as much of a mandate as they initially thought. I think that they thought, well, we kind of won this last election, sort of, a little bit. We can do whatever we want, and we should stack the courts and the filibuster. We got to reform society in a radical manner. Nobody wants that. It's not what they elected the Democrats to do, even though they cut their House majority and failed to give them the Senate. So they didn't really give them anything, but they think so. Adherent of Lady Columbia, how should a local sheriff conduct themselves? After 2020, I do not want to work in a township or city, as they tend to make cops more authoritarian. I think sheriffs should be hands-off, get their salary, and do nothing whenever possible. The best cops are the ones that just sit there, eat another fucking donut, and don't harass people. I know in some cases they give them like quotas. That's the worst shit ever. Marussia Dark, the powers that be wish to stick pieces of metal in us against our consent. I'm sure they'd appreciate it if we repaid the favor in kind, right? Yeah. I totally disavow that comment. I have to say that Jared Holt will have an article about it. Ken Kurihara, Styx is Saki Clowns in America. She comes across as kind of an asshat spook. What are the origins of the Ouija board? Who invented it and when? I'm not actually sure who invented the Ouija board. I think the basic concept goes back to the medieval era, actually. As far as the patented one, I think it's 19th century. I know there are works in the 19th century talking about the basic idea of a witching board. I don't know if Ouija actually was developed at the time, though. I think, wasn't it Parker Brothers or something patented it? That was early 20th century, I think. Opinionated Junkie, I hope the Grim Reaper visits Biden. Yeah, you might want to delete that one because people automatically take it as a threat as opposed to saying you just hope that he fucking has another aneurysm. Lev Polyakov, good morning, Styx. Can we ever get to a golden age where we ditch the TSA and government workers depend on keeping U.S. citizens happy? No, because of the structure of government itself, bureaucrats will always be shit. They will always be shitty people, generally speaking. But you can hope to constrain them and keep them as limited as possible. Editor MG, FN Tights, look up Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers. They're cool. 100 Red Bulls couldn't wake Joe Biden up. Not even 100 of these energy drinks could wake him up. And they're more powerful than the Red Bulls. A little bit of an extra kick. Opinionated Junkie, I don't have hope in SCOTUS. Well, I mean, they shot down the eviction moratorium nonsense. They shot down the race-based farm subsidies. So, it's not. They don't always make the right decision, but they do better than the other branches of government. So I'd rather have faith in them than in the Beijing Biden or the legislature. Let's get back to Joe Biden after I really quickly here check, see if we've got tips on Odyssey, and I think we do have a couple of them. By Curb Shifter, crypto without privacy is not actually crypto. Get Monero, XMR. Yeah, there are a million different kinds of crypto, so, Revised Future, I agree. Talk about privacy coins like Monero and Pirate. See, my idea is it's more efficient, and it holds value, and it makes sense. I'm not in it for the absolutism of privacy because, I really don't give a shit. I don't care if someone can see that I bought something off of eBay. It doesn't really make any difference to me. For those that do care, though, yeah, there are crypto coins that are more private than others, which is why they're trying to hyper-regulate them. All right, back to Joe Biden ranting.
But even in darkness, to still be the light. To the families of the 2,977 people from more than 90 nations killed on September 11th, 2001 in New York City, Arlington, Virginia, and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the 1,000 more who were injured. America and the world commemorate you and your loved ones.
We commemorate you. Thank you so much for giving several administrations the ability to wage limitless warfare and tear apart civil rights and the Constitution. Thank you so much for dying. We are so much better off for you getting fucking vaporized in the Twin Towers and shot through the metal at 2,000 miles per hour, causing your body to fly out the other side in a blazing inferno. Thank you so much. It's great. We killed so many civilians in your name. And we're sure that every one of you patriotic dead people would have loved the fact that we did it.
Pieces of your soul.
Pieces of your
We
body.
honor all those who risked and gave their lives in the minutes, hours, months, and years afterwards.
We commemorate all of those people who covered up the official 9/11 report's redacted pages until the middle of Trump's term. We commemorate all those who saved our Saudi allies from having demands from the U.S. public that we fucking pit bomb them back to the Stone Age for their active role in training and funding the hijackers. We're so thankful for that we were able to invade Afghanistan. By the way, says Joe, I got us out. But thanks anyway. You were useful for 20 years.
The firefighters, police officers, EMTs and construction workers and doctors and nurses, faith leaders, service members, veterans, And all of the
But says Joe, we should disarm the veterans, and those faith leaders are real problematic when they try to have services because of COVID. See, now we have to be afraid. This time it's real. Every former time we didn't have to be afraid. 9/11, well, in retrospect, we overreacted. Gulf of Tonkin, in retrospect, that was actually horseshit. Pearl Harbor, well, in retrospect, we might have had some intel beforehand. Every other episode, the Lusitania, every other episode prior, there's at least the possibility, the feasibility that a mistake was made. This time, though, listen to the big brother. We've got your best interests at heart. Be afraid. Be goddamn terrified. Do what we fucking say. Alamandorius, have to go on a long walk to get my car from the shop, so I have to go. A large problem is that voters can't separate policy from the person. In their minds, mean words equals bad policy. Or it equals good policy. Some people take up the opposite tack. Cold Warrior, 2,400 watching and 600 likes. Come on, man. Yeah, I think they got ratioed massively. 21,000 people watched his address. I guarantee more than that will watch this one. Stybek B, hey Sticks, I want to invest in crypto. What software do you use? I love your content. Keep this up. You can use Coinbase or Binance or any of these other exchanges to buy and sell. As far as holding it, of course, I use Exodus. I use an Exodus wallet. Jay Gatsby, is it possible for the ghoul Pelosi to get both Joe and Heels Up Harris 25th and install herself? No, because, nobody would want her. Even the Democrats would hate her. Jeffrey Grunts, finally I got you on a live stream. Clank. Yes, and it's a special one. 9/11, the authoritarians' favorite holiday. They consider this a congratulatory day of happiness and glee. Look at him, he's pretending to be somber. Tony Soprano, he supported the war and is best friends with W. Yes, Joe Biden, in fact, did support invading. Now he supports the idea of leaving belatedly while fucking Afghanistan in the ass. Centaurian 84, did he just forget to mention the Pentagon? Friday night tights nicely cover the infestation of wokeness in popular culture, comics and film, TV. No, he did. He mentioned Arlington, Virginia. That's the allusion to the Pentagon. Black Raven, Hollywood is once again ruining a great movie from the past with a new woke sequel or remake. I can't wait for the remake of Metropolis. Oh, they're remaking Metropolis? I won't be watching it. Neither should you. Fucking boycott that one. Ken Kurihara, Sticks, do you think Psaki is former CIA? She seems like a spook. Yeah, she might glow in the dark a little bit. Let's get back to Biden making a fool of himself as usual.
Everyday people gave their all to rescue, recover, and rebuild. But it's so hard, whether it's the first year or the 20th.
It's so hard. My small member when I watch 9/11 footage, when I see those people falling out of the goddamn towers, it's so hard, says Joe. I bet he does get a stiffy from that.
Parents have suffered
fucking moron.
Without children. Husbands and wives have had to find ways forward without their partners in their life with them.
Some of them just found another partner, like like Hunter Biden did. Remember that time that he cheated on his dead brother's former spouse with a stripper and got her pregnant and then lied, and he was high as balls at the time? I bet that won't come up in this speech.
Brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, loved ones and friends have had to celebrate birthdays and milestones with a hole in their heart. No matter how much time has passed, these commemorations bring everything painfully back, as if you just got the news a few seconds ago. And so on this day, Jill and I hold you close in our hearts and send you our love. There are people around the world that you'll never know.
He'll gladly mail his used undies to your wife or to your grandmother or to your daughter. It depends on their age and how they look. Send a letter with a photograph of them, and you could get Joe Biden's brown-stained underwear. He's sending you his love. Yeah, there might be a little bit of an extra in the front. Trust me, he didn't do that himself, though.
Who are suffering through their own losses, who see you, your courage. Your courage gives them courage that they too can get up and keep going. We hope that 20 years later, the memory of your beloved brings a smile to your lips, even while still bringing a tear to your eye. The days that follow.
I'm sorry, but this is just massively sappy. And it's very odd because I think each other year, there's usually a live address on 9/11 itself. And I don't think Biden has anything scheduled for today. I think this is the address, and it didn't even happen on September 11th, it happened the day before. I think he was afraid maybe. Show up in New York, all of a sudden people start booing you and turning their backs. That's what I think that people should do. If you see him, make sure to boo him and then turn your back on him. See if you can get a photo op. HTM 101, if Japan was bombed, would you care? Yeah, I would care. Because Japan is a civilized nation with good people in it. Dave Cast, hey Stick, shout out to my business Ocean Catch Seafood in Rhode Island. By the way, what's your opinion on Vermont paying people $7,500 to move there? Yeah, but it won't give tax forgiveness to people that have already moved there, so it's a moot point. Nobody's going to move there to be in a telecom sort of thing. Fucking telecommunications, internet, self-employment online. Have you seen the internet speeds in Vermont? Non-existent. Acme Mowing and Lawn Care. Wife and I just got shit canned by Jihad Joe. I did 21 years in the military and 14 civil service. Wife did 33 years. Video is now shadow ban. Happens all the time, many such cases. Brett Werdersheim. Hey Razor, when is the next Battletech rant? Sentinel Rex. That's not Joe Biden. He looks like he's a double. No, it's just because he has proper lighting in this one as opposed to being outside licking an ice cream cone. James Willis, why didn't 80 floors resist 20? Because of the nature of steel beams. We won't get into that one. Editor MG, Columbia, South Carolina just reinstituted a mask mandate so my glasses can fog up all day at work. Keep in mind, most of those mandates aren't actually laws because they weren't actually passed by a legislature. You might look into that. Sebastian Monroe, reminder, Joe voted in favor of the Iraq War where his son Beau was exposed to depleted uranium rounds who also got cancer and died. Joe killed Beau. Technically, yeah. But at least I will say one positive thing. At the very least, finally, one of the few politicians whose child actually served. That's rare. I think they should be forced to be. I think that if there's a war, every elected official, their children should be first up for a draft. And it should be an actual draft for them. Not just a, hey, we may call you up for service if there's a gluten manpower. No, no, no. You will serve. And you'll be in the front lines. Parachute them over there to get killed. Gene Patrick Aker. Or Alker, sorry. Hi Sticks, been with you since 2016. Here is some of my past dues. Is this the time of the fourth turning, Will Strauss? The fall of public faith in institutions. By the way, let the salt flow. Possibly. Very possibly. Jay Gatsby, I'm canceling my MK Ultra subscription because Joe looks too damn fake here. Shaking my head. No, he just looks well lit. Gerald Armstrong, we went from never forget to we have all forgotten to we've abandoned in a 20-year span. Yeah, I know it's a little bit odd. See, I think are there any other comments? I think sometimes it's hard for me to tell fucking where the comments are on Odyssey. The chat on here needs a little bit of a redesign, I would say. For some reason, the comments from before look doubled, but I'm not 100% sure. It looks like everything's doubled on the Odyssey stream here in the chat. Here, I'm going to refresh it. Just give me a moment here. I'm still troubleshooting some of these issues. Yeah, there are some things on there that were doubled up. Now they're fine. Okay. Anyway, we'll go back to Beijing Biden here and listen to him rant for a while more.
September 11, 2001, we saw heroism everywhere, in places expected and unexpected. We also saw something all too rare, a true sense of national unity. Unity and resilience, the capacity to recover and repair in the face of trauma. Unity and service, the 9/11 generation stepping up to serve and protect in the face of terror, to get those terrorists who are responsible, to show everyone seeking to do harm to America that we will hunt you down and we will make you pay.
Which never happened. Osama probably died of kidney failure years ago, years before he was supposedly killed. According to Benazir Bhutto, she was PM of Pakistan, and he was, of course, supposedly killed in her country. She said that to her knowledge, he was already dead a couple years before of kidney failure. Not long after that, by the way, she was killed by assassins. Isn't that very, very interesting that we never saw the dead body of Osama?
That will never.
You know what that is? It's because he was dead long before. They killed someone that looked vaguely like him in some random compound in Pakistan. And then they decided to present that to the world as though it was real. They did that because they needed to save face. They couldn't say, hey, yeah, we finally got the intel. Osama actually died a while ago. Sorry, everyone that had a family member on 9/11 or whatever. We can't give you closure because he already went to hell. That wouldn't have worked. It's much easier to just kill some random civvy now, isn't it? Biden knows a lot about that, by the way, to anyone not already aware. It now turns out, and this is the New York Times reporting it, keep in mind how reluctant they are to do actual journalism. They got footage, security footage of the so-called ISIS member that was targeted by Biden's second drone strike in Afghanistan the day before we left. Turns out it was a civilian contractor working with the U.S. loading a bunch of water bottles into the car. And he was pursued by a Reaper drone for several hours before the shot was taken. Now, the natural question is, why did they take the shot when there were a bunch of kids around to get vaporized? Just wanted to kill a bunch of civilians just to make the point, fuck you. It's basically a big goddamn joke to these people. Joe Biden is a goddamn big fucking joke.
Stop. Today, tomorrow, ever from protecting America.
Being downvoted too.
The darker forces of human nature. Fear and anger. Resentment and violence against Muslim Americans. True and faithful.
The biggest lesson we can learn from 9/11 is that people started fearing people of Islamic background, and this is a big problem. Now, 9/11 was no problem, and all the ISIS attacks and everything else that, by the way, largely happened under Obama. No, that's not the problem. Discrimination against a very tiny number of Americans in a very small number of cases, hyperbolically amplified by the media. That's the biggest problem that we
Faithful
had.
followers of a peaceful religion.
Biden, you might want to look up the Sahih al-Bukhari. I will say no more on this subject because we're also live on YouTube. Look up the Sahih al-Bukhari sometime. Let's see. I think there's a couple more chats here. I think. It jumps around all the time. It's impossible to keep up with. Literally impossible. I can only listen to 30 seconds of Biden at a time anyway, though, so it's all good. Opinionated junkie, Leanna Wen said rights are a privilege, lol. Yeah, there's a lot of that right now in public discourse. No, it's not. You don't have the right to speak freely. You have the privilege to speak how I tell you to. You don't have a right to keep and bear arms. You have a privilege to have a BB gun. Dr. Pibb, it's pretty sad that Disney's animatronics are more lifelike than Biden. One thing, when you get to 78, the joints start to wear out, shit like that. And he's had a lot of surgery done, by the way. He's had hair plugs. He's had definitely done a chin tuck. He's had that done. He's definitely had his forehead worked on to some degree. He looks totally different than he did in the 80s. Looks better than he did in 2010. But that's because of surgery. He had a facelift. He's had more plastic surgery than Michael Jackson. Matocaster. Could the drone strike have been bad intel from the Taliban? No, it wouldn't have come from the Taliban. Biden had to give the okay to take the shot, and the military gave the intel. They just told him, hey, someone near the airport is loading shit into his car. It looks suspicious, sir. Oh, okay, come on, man. I'm trying to finish my ice cream. Fucking kill him. Yeah. No, don't do it now. No, wait. He's looking at the screen, and it's like the car is slowly moving along the alley. Wait, just a little bit longer. And then as soon as the crowd of kindergartners is right in front of the car, okay, now, go. And he probably was very, very happy. When he watched the kids get vaporized and their remains splattering everywhere, he was like, yeah, man, this is better than Call of Duty. Oh, I love it so much. These people are into some sick shit, by the way. And they don't just joke about it. They actually get off on it. Kevin Murphy, do you think by virtue of the U.S. having guns, we will be able to deflect the Australia outcome? I keep hearing we're a year away from Australia. Yeah, we're a lot more than a year away from Australia, thankfully. But remember, even when COVID no longer scares people, there will always be something else after that. Another disease, another attack, another group of people, another idea, another religion, another concept. Something will be used to frighten people into accepting more authoritarianism. That's why people need to fucking chill out and stop being goddamn little paranoid bitches. Scarfy the Strange. So let me get this straight. Not only did we abandon weapons of mass destruction of the Taliban, we didn't even get bin Laden. I need a drink. No, I do not believe that the U.S. military successfully killed bin Laden. I think it's all unevidenced. I don't have a picture of his dead body. I don't have anything from the SEAL team. All of those dudes, I think they're all dead by now, aren't they? I think there was one that survived. Didn't he get sued by the State Department or something because of his book? Very interesting, isn't it? Suing American heroes for making a book. Carly Walls, how risky is Activid? I get a little paranoid sometimes. I haven't had a problem, but I use like all sorts of ad blockers and shit, so nothing pops up. Again, I'm not telling you to use it because I'm not sure it's entirely legal, but it does exist. ACTVID, Activid.com, I think, or .whatever. David Tomac, missed Fallout until recently. Now put 350H in Fallout 3 and 200 so far, and NV4 will be my first with mods on Xbox Series X. I want basically Vanilla Plus. I'm thinking Vivid Fallout, Man's Best Friend, 60 FPS 4K. Any other suggestions? I wouldn't use an Xbox. I just use my Alienware. Get We Are the Minutemen as a mod. If you're talking about the mods that are available through Vortex, get We Are the Minutemen. Touch of Green is a good one because it makes things less washed out and drab. Armor Smith Extended. Armor Smith Extended is probably the most important. You will be able to wear armor over regular clothing. And not just the base game version, which is, stupid as fuck. Metacaster, what should we tell Zoomers about 9/11 since none of them were old enough to even remember it? Tell them what I'm telling you right now. It was used as an excuse by the government to rob people of their rights, inconvenience, and harass them and spy on them and censor them. Just like COVID. It's exactly the same. It's a pig in a poke situation by the powers that be. Editor MG agreed COVID paranoia is media fueled for Nielsen ratings and clicks. Absolutely. All right, back to Biden's ramble about Islam now.
We saw national unity bend. We learned that unity is the one thing that must never break. Unity is
and that means you need to be unified behind whatever I tell you to do. That's what it means, right, Joe? We need to unify behind your ideas, not anybody else's ideas. All those people are evil Nazis. They're extremists, right?
what makes us who we are. America at its best. To me, that's the central lesson of September 11th. It's that at our
and that the public are a bunch of gullible fucking morons.
most vulnerable, in the push and pull of all that makes us human, in the battle for the soul of America, unity is our greatest strength. Unity doesn't mean we have to believe the same thing. We must have a fundamental respect and faith in each other and in this nation. We are unique in the history of the world because we're the only nation based on an idea that everyone is created equal and should be treated equally throughout their lives. That is the task before us, to once again lead not just by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. And I know we can.
So let's get rid of more human rights, draw people in closer together under authoritarianism, ignore our own constitutional doctrines, and maybe we'll bomb some more little kids, right, Joe? Like the 10 kids you vaporized to kill an American contractor. Let's be more like Joe. We'll all we'll eat human flesh till we get prions. So we'll all basically be demented, and then we'll do weird shit all fucking day. I'm gonna be like that one dude from CNN. Wasn't it Cuomo, actually, I think? Didn't he go with the Agori at one point and eat like human brain fluid? And it's like, that's just such a terrible idea, but I think we should all do that so we can be more like Biden. Saif Jend, how do you think the media would respond if Joe Biden had a dementia moment and said a racial slur live on TV? Well, I mean, back in his more coherent moments, he used to ramble about his kids going into a racial jungle because of school busing, integration. He said stuff like that. Hillary did too, though. She one time she was on a black radio show, and she said, "Don't worry, I keep hot sauce in my handbag." And she broke down with that southern twang, like a plantation lady, to talk to the people on the black radio show with a largely black audience. But at all other times, total cracker. Black Raven, she's a witch, she's unvaccinated. The Crucible. Yeah, it's similar to the Burning Times. Always got to have something to fear. Alex Bogey, the gall to talk about equality after the vax mandate. Yes, the funny part is that it'll mainly affect black people. Blacks are the least likely in the United States to be vaccinated, and Hispanics not far behind. So Joe Biden hates black and Hispanic people. He only likes whites and Asians. John Marafa, wait, I thought diversity was our strength, lol. Yes, but it has to be unified diversity behind whatever the fuck the US government tells you to do. That's their idea of diversity. That's their idea of unity. Ken Kurihara, hey Sticks, do you have a Hawaiian shirt shop in the Netherlands? You're looking sharp with the new shirts. No, but Bull.com has some. Editor MG, Hillary is so fake. Yeah. And did you see the latest picture of her? She looks like a character from like an 80s cartoon that would be like a witch or something. She had the big low slung hat, and she angles down like a triangle, like, you know, she's become massively fat as well in her old age. And it's just the funniest fucking shit. Oh, it was hilarious. And Bill's like walking on, he looks normal except that his face looks ghoulified. So he's just like completely out of it. How many drugs do they have him on?
For I know hope is not simply an expectation. Hope
it's also the name of the girl that I sniffed earlier.
Is a conviction. Hope allows us
a conviction like Hunter Biden will never get. Luke Sapan, are you live reacting to Trump today? We will see about the timing, whether there's copyrighted music and if it's like pay-per-view. I'll be looking into it.
To act and honor those we lost 20 years ago, and those who have given their whole souls to the cause of this nation.
Who gave their souls to the devil like I did.
Every day since. To act and build a future, not a reactionary one or one based on fear, but a future of promise, strength, and grace, worthy of their dreams and sacrifice. And
mainly their sacrifice.
To act and keep the faith that while life is fragile, it is truly something wonderful.
And that's why I inject myself with adrenochrome. I love life so much, I don't want to die. Mad Uper, $10, no comment. Thank you very much. Sticks, you just got recommended to me by Twitch, and I do like what you say. I am very surprised that a platform would recommend me to anyone, especially a mainline one run by Amazon. Twitch actually recommended my material to you? Well, that already puts it head and heels above fucking YouTube. Glad I got on.
We find strength in its broken places, as Hemingway wrote. We find light in the darkness. We find purpose to repair, renew, and rebuild. And as my friend told me that September 20 years ago, we must not be afraid.
Except of COVID. Be afraid of that. All of these other panics in the past, don't be afraid. Light will shine, the city on a hill. God is watching us and all this shit. But COVID, if you don't do exactly what I fucking say, you fucking moron, you're all gonna die. That's what it boils down to. We heard the same at 9/11. Gulf of Tonkin was bullshit, but this time we mean business. This time, don't worry, the government will take care of things.
May God bless you all. May God bless the lives lost from September 11th, 2001, and their loved ones that were left behind. May God.
If God bless them, why did they die? That's what I want to hear from Joe Biden's explanation. Just like those kids that you vaporized. Why do people keep dying in all these horrible attacks by different government and non-state entities? Is it because people like you are violent and screwed up? Or is it because of God? I think it's because of human violence and opportunism. Edward Coughlin, logs. Yes, lots of steamy logs down my throat. Okay, there goes Biden. At least it was terse. I expected him to give an address today. Now, let me look this up again. I'm actually on a different browser. Just a second here. Let me look this up. White House schedule page. Yeah, it's still only seeing out-of-town travel pool call time, and that was, I think, an hour ago or an hour and a half. That's already done. I don't see anything else scheduled for Biden today. Yeah, I'm not sure that he's going to be doing an actual live address. That's a normal thing. W never lost a moment doing that shit. Obama never did. Trump gave addresses on 9/11. Why is it that Joe Biden has to do it the day before? I guess it's like they monitored his cycles and they're like, well, he's having a good day today, but tomorrow he's going to be all spurred out, so we can't do it. Have him pre-record an address and put that up. Don't worry, people won't ask for anything more than that. They don't want to hear him speak anyway, so just fucking pop it up there. Editor MG, start your own Hawaiian shirt line. I'll be your first customer. I'll rock it at Folly Beach. Good to finally catch you live. That'd be interesting to have like a clothing line. There are in the merch page links down below in the description of this live stream, wherever you are. You can go to the merch page. There are shirts available, but they're Sticks, Hex, and Hammer shirts, black and white, of course. 1888, I'm telling. Never forget the men and women who died that day trying to save others. Also, let's not forget the men and women who were killed on the USS Liberty. Stand strong against all tyrannical supremacists. Yeah, that is one that never gets mentioned. One U.S. military disaster that never gets really talked about, the USS Liberty. It was off the shore of Egypt, actually, and was bombed by the Israeli military. And despite pleading with them not to bomb them, it's not entirely clear exactly what happened, but there was a glitch in the system. Let's just put it that way. Matocaster, after Afghanistan, what do you think will be Biden's next big blunder in the media? It could be jobs related. That's going in the wrong direction. But it's not entirely clear. I mean, I know he'll make blunders, but he never takes questions, now rarely even gives speeches that aren't pre-recorded, let alone just scripted. It's hard to make a mistake under such conditions of any meaning. Mad Youper, I've been wondering how blood transfusions will be affected when it comes to vaxxed versus unvaxxed. Ah, yeah, that'd be interesting. You've got unvaxxed blood, we don't want you here. Yeah, we know that this person is bleeding out on the slab, but you're not vaxxed, so it could be a big problem. We can't take your blood. Motion blur. Can I go to Amsterdam from USA without being vaxxed? Is the red light district in business? You do not need a vaccine, as far as I know, to travel to and from the EU, but there are travel restrictions. Most airlines require a PCR test and a rapid test when you're at the airport. You know, Delta did. Most of them require masking in the airplane, so it's still a big hassle, but I don't think you have to be vaxxed. As far as the red light district, I neither know nor care because I never went there and never will. I'm not into that bullshit. Marushia Dark, speaking of YouTube algorithms, have you tried searching Stefan Molyneux recently? They don't just poison the well, they salt the earth under which they buried him. That's how much they fear him. Oh, he's still quite active on Odyssey and on BitChute. I think he's on Rumble too. He's still pulling in a huge number of views. You got to realize the fact that they've kicked people like Molyneux off of mainline tech is that technically it's made them stronger. Their core audience all followed them and stopped using those mainline sites. I like to think that that's happening with my material too. By the way, all of you should be following me. If you're following me on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, you should be following me on Odyssey and BitChute and all of these other sites and on Rumble, as well as Minds.com. These are good sites. They have their own ingrained native audience. If you're a creator, you're nuts not to branch out as much as possible. Wild Horses Run Free. Been a fan of yours 2 years. Thanks for what you do. Well, thank you for the $10. I will buy a 4-pack of Red Bull. If Biden drank a Red Bull, he'd probably have a coronary. Black Raven, I can see this year's Halloween moral panic will be COVID related. Yeah, the kids not wearing a Halloween mask. That's going to be considered the new problem. That'll be the funny part. It's like, I remember they're like, don't wear an actual mask because you can get run over by a car. It limits your vision. I remember they used to tell kids back then, like the late 90s, don't wear a mask. Just use face paint, like makeup and stuff, to do the masking instead. Now they'll be saying, if you don't have a Halloween mask, you want grandma to die. You might cough on the candy. Sebastian Monroe, check Rumble for Trump's statement. Oh, excellent. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I can probably hatch that in. Will Gooding, when I carve my pumpkins for Halloween this year, I'll be sure to try and make Beijing Biden, Kabbalah Harris, and Sucky jack-o'-lanterns, respectively. Make sure to make an NPC one like I had before. Can't find the white pumpkins anywhere here. They've got the little orange ones, but even those aren't the big ones. They don't have the same kind of pumpkins here. They have the little pie pumpkins, but they don't have like the Americanized kind that are giant. They just have the little pie pumpkins. So, you know, you can make snacks with them, but you can't use them for a jack-o'-lantern. Lev Polyakov, Styx' shirt idea. Hawaiian shirt with Styx dragon and spoon patterns. Not a bad idea. Thomas, hey, finally got a live stream. Can I get a clank, sir? Clank, clank. I don't have anything to clank this with. I got I got this highlighter. Should just start scrawling all over my face like that one bitch from Antifa there that got arrested. Oh boy, look up Faces of Antifa if you want to laugh. Aaron C., I know you're not a fan of Josh Moon, but I'd suggest checking out his stuff for a good perspective on tech censorship. Who? Isn't that the dude that called me a glowy or something? Was that Josh? Oh, no, that's Null. Yeah. Never mind, sorry. I'm not an anti-fan of his work either. It's just I think that Kiwi Farms is basically like a tabloid. It's basically for the tech generation, it's the equivalent of watching a soap opera, in which people like me are the actors and actresses, and the elements of our personal lives and professional lives are gone over with a fine-tooth comb, and it becomes cringy. It's like fucking watch soap operas and read tabloids. Read Reader's Digest if you want that sort of bullshit. Darun Albane, just watched your Shoot North Carolina video. What kind of evidence would a blowout 2024 in swing states that had the weird graph spikes indicate? It would indicate fortification, of course. See over on Odyssey. See, the thing is that the chat doesn't keep up the same. Both on StreamYard and Odyssey, chat has some issues. And I don't know exactly why, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. It's probably my browser or some shit. It's probably on my end. It's probably my fault because I'm retarded. Yeah, I don't know. So I'll close that out actually at this point. So yeah, this is the live stream, the 9/11 live stream, laughing about unlearned lessons. People don't realize COVID is being used the same way 9/11 is, to make people fearful so they'll accept more authoritarianism. You have a new wave of tyranny based off of it. And also, we reacted to Biden there, but it was pretty boring. And of course, he didn't bring up the 10 kids he vaporized to not get his ISIS target, while claiming that he got it. And the reason he did that is because people were angry because there were terrorist attacks at the airport. He didn't realize, though, a lot of people didn't give a shit because they were angry at him, not at ISIS. ISIS just ran roughshod because Biden let him. They're angry at Joe Biden. Aren't all the families of the dead soldiers still pissed at him? Didn't some of them even walk out when he was going to come in and address them? Lucas Zupan, do you have a book or place that cites the sources, documents, etc. that you refer to in your older religion videos? Digging deeper. No, but I mean, some of them have links in the description and stuff like that. Editor MG, gonna bounce sticks, putting new tires on my car. Have a good day. Yeah, I'm gonna be bouncing in a second here as well. 1976, thinking about getting a new bass 4-string. Looks cool, 5 has more function. Cannot make up my mind. I have no clue. I couldn't play any sort of instrument other than I can plunk my way across a keyboard kind of. That's basically all I can do instrument-wise. I sing occasionally, and some people like it, and some people think it's cringy, but instruments, yeah, no thanks. I'd probably get the guitar strings wrapped around my cock, and then it'd get gangrenous, and then I'd be Joe Biden, basically. So yeah, I will be going off here. It is possible I may do another stream later for Trump's boxing thing, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to look into it, see what time it is, music and stuff like that. I got to be really careful of copyright. I could make it an Odyssey exclusive maybe, but Matto Caster to 1976 depends on what you want to do for low tunings. Well, there you go. You've gotten your advice from someone who knows what they're talking about. Trust me, it won't be me with regards to guitars. So yeah, to all of you on YouTube, Twitch, and Odyssey, that's about all. Peace out.